Greetings, Hellions, and welcome to the faction. In my previous video, I may or may not have stated that this channel is going to revolve around me doing Let's Plays of games. That's not going to happen for now. I currently do not have any programs able to record my computer screen so that I can, show you the games I'm playing. If anybody knows a good program that I can even have to pay for it. If you just know a good program, relatively cheap if I have to pay for it, just let me know in the comments below, send me a message, do something, because this channel isn't going to get real interesting until I can play games, let's be honest. So, in the meantime, I'm going to be doing rants. Rants and bloopers, and readings, and just about anything else that doesn't involve recording my computer screen. Second off, you've probably noticed by now, I'm orange, and I'm not in the same room I was in my previous videos. Well, here's the thing. I am actually not at my house, in my room recording with my nice white light and collection of flags. I'm at my grandparents' animal sitting for a couple of dogs, a bunch of rabbits, and a stray cat that thinks it lives here. It's more fun than I make it sound, but so I will be here all weekend. By the time I get another video up, though, I should be back in a decent lit room. But anyway, on the subject of rants, I'm going to start off my collection of rants with a rant on a subject a lot of people feel: favoritism. It's a touchy subject, and also one that not a lot of people like to talk about. But here's the thing. Almost everybody goes through it. Whether they feel like they're the favorite or whether they feel like they're not the favorite. Or who knows, maybe they're the one playing favorites and they don't even realize it. Everybody goes through these feelings. Even me. Now, humans aren't the only ones that can go through favoritism. Animals go through favoritism too. Everyone has that pet. Say there's multiple pets in the household. Everyone has that pet where they're like, this is mine, and it's my favorite. Where you kind of just shun, you push away the other animals. It's a thing that happens. And it happens with people, but it does happen with people more often. Especially siblings. A lot of the time, parents may not think they're playing favorites, but sibling rivalry, part of it sprouts up from feeling like one is treated better than the other. Be it whoever's responsible for chores, be it, I don't know, maybe an older sibling feels like the younger ones have it a lot better. Speaking of dogs, here's one of them now. Sassy, come here. Come here. Say hi to the camera. This is my grandma's dog, Sassy. Maybe the other one will show up. But, back on topic, to favoritism. There really is nothing we can do about it. It's gonna happen. There's no way we can avoid it. There's no way we can stop it. The only way to stop favoritism entirely is to stop existing. Speaking of other dogs, Max, come here. Come here. Come here. Hey. Hey. Okay, well, hey, quit. I'm gonna play, get on the floor. That one back there is Max. He's a little camera shy, apparently. Okay, anyway. The only way we can really stop favoritism is to stop existing. Or for one person to be cloned and be the only person to ever populate the earth. That's not going to happen, ever. Not even in science fiction. Okay, maybe in science fiction, but it's not going to happen in real life. So what do we do about it? Talk about it. One person cannot stop favoritism. Everybody cannot stop favoritism. But we can help fight it by talking about it. the only way you can really stop the only way favoritism is ever going to be addressed is if people talk about it. It's a touchy subject that nobody wants to talk about. But if you don't talk about it, it's not going to stop. It's just going to happen. Sometimes, though, if you bring it up to your parents, like maybe you're the child of the household that feels like they're not the favorite. The only way you're going to stop it is by bringing it up to your parents. The problem is, parents don't like to admit that they play favorites. Or maybe it's your aunt or your uncle. Adults don't like to admit they play favorites. So they're going to get angry. They're going to yell. They'll probably yell. They might even, whatever punishment's dealt in your family. They're probably going to do that. If another relative brings it up because they noticed it, they're going to get mad at that relative. People are going to get mad when it gets brought up. But you have to. If you want it to stop, you have to bring it up and you have to talk about it. Sometimes it's very hard to do. Sometimes you can't talk about it. Sometimes you're afraid to talk about it to your family. That's when you go to someone like your best friend. Like, my best friend is the person I go to for everything. Shout out to Nicole in Louisville. But anyway, you just got to talk about it. If you don't talk about it, nothing's going to change. There really isn't anything you can do. You can't stop favoritism. You just have to fight it. Point it out where you see it and get it addressed. Because once it's brought to light and it's accepted that it's happening, that's when change is going to happen. It's not a phase. If it's happening now, it's going to happen 5 years down the road. Opinions might change. Whoever's considered the favorite might change. But it's going to happen. If it's happening now, it'll happen then. It's not a phase. And if you don't bring it up, it's not going to stop. It's a heavy subject to talk about. Not a pleasant one. Not a pleasant conversation. You can't just sit down and be like, oh, hey, guess what? I feel like I'm being neglected and that my sibling or cousin or, I don't know, whoever you manage to feel inferior to, I feel like they're getting all this special treatment and I'm getting crap. A lot of the times what happens is arguments. Because it's like you're placing the blame on them. You can't, no matter what, never accuse anybody of favoritism. Don't accuse anybody. If you accuse people, arguments start, feuds start, and nothing gets done. It doesn't get taken care of. It doesn't end. It just doesn't stop. It's a vicious cycle of who blames who. It's just, once you start arguing about it, it'll never be able to be brought up pleasantly. And then if it can't be brought up pleasantly, like in a way that's not, would you stop doing this? It's making me feel like crap. If it doesn't get brought up in a decent way, it's just going to spark arguments and nothing's going to get done and everyone's going to leave the conversation table dissatisfied. And sometimes there's no possible way to bring it up pleasantly. And that's when you get someone else for help. That's when you go to a professional. If you don't feel like you can safely bring up the topic, go to someone. Go to someone else. Go to a professional, a therapist, a counselor, a trusted authority figure. And get their help. Because you should be able to talk about even favoritism. As touchy as a subject that is, you should be able to safely bring it up with anybody. In a decent way. So, if you don't feel safe bringing it up, get some help. Have someone help bring it up. Because once it gets brought up, then you can talk about it. And there's just what else can I say? It happens. It sucks. There's really nothing you can do about it except fight it. Speak out against it. And just remember, nothing happens overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. Just, it'll take time. It's gonna take time. But the more people that talk about it, the more people that bring it up, the faster it's gonna get resolved. It'll never go away. The only way for it to go away is for everybody to become a shallow husk of who they once were. Where they just stare off into oblivion, not giving a crap about anything else. Just going about their day like a zombie. We'd have to become zombies. And even zombies have their favorites. They have their favorite part of the brain. I don't know. It'll never go away. It is never going to go away. Ever. But we can limit it so that it's not affecting lives. Keep that in mind. And if you are experiencing like feelings of not being the favorite of the family, there's always going to be someone out there that has you as their favorite. Be it an aunt, an uncle, your best friend, even your pet. There's someone out there with a special bond that makes you their favorite. And as sucky as it sounds, that's all you really need. There's nothing else I can say on it. I'm demented. You're in the faction. And I will see you guys in my next rant.